Hello, good afternoon. Welcome again to Ivaneti Africa. I'm happy to welcome Madam Abigail Okori, Madam Enyidike Uchechi, and Ginette Agbo. We're going to talk about the we're going to talk about harnessing the nature in Africa. The topic is more about entrepreneurship. We have amazing, lovely women going to talk a lot about entrepreneurship in Africa, how everything has to go within the African continent, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have here, I would love to introduce them, but I would first like them to introduce themselves. And then I would have my host here, Ken Egiri, to take up the mantle. Thank you. Abigail Okori, can you start with the introduction?
All right. Thank you, Nana. My name is Abigail. Excuse me. I'm a lawyer by profession. It's something I love doing, and I'm in charge of or take care of your business registration and incorporation of companies. I do that, and then management of facilities. I'm into real estate also, sales, lease, and rent. So if you have any issues on that, or you're looking for a lawyer here in Lagos, Nigeria, Abigail, you can call on me. I'm here. And I'm also a boarding entrepreneur. Yeah. I make yogurts and cookies, all yummy and natural. All right. You can follow us on Facebook, Blossom Island. That is our handle on Facebook. All right, that's our page. And also, excuse me, I'm also a child coach. I'm a woman of many facets. So I'm a child coach, helping parents with um, tidbits about parenting. You can also follow us on Facebook, Blossom Island. Don't forget that, Blossom Island. So that is one of a few of the many things that I do. Okay, as a lawyer, entrepreneur that is boarding, and then a child coach, amongst many other things. I may not be able to finish saying them here. All right, thank you.
Welcome. So, can we have Madam Ginette Agbo also to introduce herself to us?
Hello everyone. My name is Ginette Agbo. I am the founder of Mia Gourmet, the brand of exotic flavors and spices. I am from Benin and Senegal, and I am based in France since 1995. In fact, when I was 18, my parents sent me to France to finish my bachelor's. After that, I started a 3-year post-graduation course, executive assistant course. My main profession was head office manager till I had the opportunity to work in one of the first French real estate companies in 2012. At the same time, I decided to complete my training in legal studies focused in real estate development. After this last professional experience as an employee, I decided at the end of 2021 to become a full-time self-employer after a long process which started in 2017 because I like to give a broader sense to my life, paying back all I have learned with my roots to which I'm very attached.
Super.
It's
Thank you very
what I
much.
can say in few words about me.
Thank you very much, Madam Agbo. And now would like to welcome Madam Anyadike Uchechi.
Okay, can you hear us, Uche? Hello, Uchechi, can you hear us? I think she
Yeah, I think
gave
Hello,
she's
us
everybody. Can
already.
you hear me?
Yes, we
yes, we
can.
can
We
hear.
can hear you. Yeah.
She's gone off again.
Wow, so sorry. My network is fluctuating. Okay, my name is Erika Ochichi. I'm the founder of Everyday Food. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we
please.
can.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Uchechi. Okay. So Nana, so maybe we can come back to Uche after a
Yes.
while and be taking introduction.
Okay, so like we all know, Eveneti Africa is a platform focused on learning more about the learning more and sharing much information about the African continent, be it technology, be it entrepreneurship, be it any part of Africa, basically. So today we have here panelists from Nigeria, from Senegal, from Congo, and from Ghana. So I'm co-hosting with Kenneth Igiri, and today we're going to speak much about entrepreneurship. And like we heard from the first panelist, Abigail Okeri, we're going to learn more about the insights with regards to registration, everything concerning self-employment within Nigeria, within Senegal, Congo, and possibly Ghana. So thank you. Let's start and welcome all our panelists on board. I'll let my host take over from me now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nana Sewa. Nana Sewa is based in Germany. So her W is V and her V is W. So welcome to Iwinati Africa. All right. All right. So also thank you, Ginette. Ginette is joining us from France, and I would like to tell the Francophone Africans joining us today that we will hear some French today. I told her that she's free to speak French at any point in time she wants to. And we have two amazing Nigerians, Uchechi and Okori. So it's definitely an African panel. And today we're going to focus on entrepreneurship conversation on spices and everything else that is grown in Africa and sold around the world. How does it work? How have dear entrepreneurs, how have they made it work for them? And how can you make it work for you if you want to go into that area? Wherever you're joining us from, please drop a chat in the comments and tell us where you're joining us from. Share the link, invite others to this conversation around the simple things, the ginger, the ugu, the what else, the pepper that we take for granted in our backyards. It's getting to Europe and people are paying dollars for it. How does it work? That's what we're going to hear about today. So I'm going to start with once again, we're going to turn back to Abigail, the lawyer turned entrepreneur who is helping children feed healthy with her yogurts. She's going to tell us how it's been in her environment. Many African communities have all these spices all over the place. Can you tell us what you know about the naturally occurring items all around our neighborhoods that can have commercial value? You will hear that from you, and we'll turn to Ginette to also tell us what's happening in her country's Benin. Abigail? Okay, I'm unmuting you. Go ahead.
Thank you. We're so blessed in Africa, really. We're so blessed with the things that nature has given to us. When I mean nature here, I mean God. God has given us a lot in this part of the world. It's so amazing. Growing up, I grew up from it wasn't really village per se. It was a township, but we were so close to nature. When you go to the farm and you have issues, maybe you cut yourself or you stumbled and then you you have bruises. They just pluck a leaf, squeeze it together, put it on your wound, and before you know, yeah, bam, you're healed. It's all gone. You don't. We're really blessed in Africa. Now, I've got a case in point. I've got three kids, yeah, and then the first two I knew next to nothing. But to the glory of God, I have to call God. I can't do without Him. So it's very important to me. I'm sorry. God is, He means so much to me. There's no Abigail without God. So please bear with me. I have to call Him. To the glory of God, I stumbled on a group where they teach mothers about feeding your kids natural, and that has kind of spurred something inside of me. I'm sorry. It spurred, it awoken something inside of me. And I can tell you, my last baby, she didn't eat anything synthetic. She didn't eat any processed food. Everything was natural, from the rice to the beans to the potato to the egg. And people ask, how did you go about it? It was because I was able to stumble on this group that helped me, and it was awesome. When my baby is ill, it's just a matter of, and it's because maybe somebody around, maybe an adult, has some infection, and there was no way it could be, averted. And somehow the baby caught the infection. But in a few days, it's gone. Why? Because my baby was fed natural. We're so blessed in I want to say Nigeria, but we're talking about Africa at large. We're really, really blessed. We're really blessed. It was so good that even when my baby had those maybe cold or infection or whatever, when I blend ginger into her food and turmeric, these are awesome antioxidants, into her food as a baby. I'm sure it sounds strange. And in no time, the thing is gone because she wouldn't even take drugs, anyways. And it's not like, I'm not against science, I'm not against the medicine and all. It's all good. But I'm just, trying to help us, awaken us to what we have. Look at the bitter leaf. I saw an article some time ago about bitter leaf. The bitter leaf that we all see at the back of our houses. It's being processed now, it's being used into medicine. The problem we have in Africa, which hopefully we believe and we're working towards it, is that we're going to begin to, process these things in a way that we would be able to know, okay, what dosage to use when you have this issue, what to do and all that. But we're really blessed in Africa with all the stuff. I can tell you, we're really blessed. Africa is a virgin that we shouldn't allow anybody defile us. We have been blessed and we should keep it that way.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Abigail. So where was it you grew up again?
I grew up in Delta State,
nice
Agbo.
Delta State, Agbo. Okay,
Delta
that's
State,
Agbo.
yes, Agbo, yes.
Great. So
That's where I
Agbo
grew
is
up.
in Nigeria, is
Yeah.
the south area of Nigeria. So we're going to hear the same experience from Ginette, who grew up in the Republic of Benin. And I needed to make that clear so that you don't think it's Edo State. It's not Edo State, Republic of Benin. So Ginette, please tell us your experience about the spices, the plants we have around us that have now become so good that they are of economic value globally in Africa.
Can you repeat, please?
Yes. So I said, please tell us about the plants, the spices, the things around us in nature in Africa that you have experience with, that have that can be of economic value, like Abigail has described in her own context. I'm sure there are some from Benin, and especially the ginger that you have processed so far. Yeah.
Yes, as Abigail said, we have a lot of plants we use in Africa not only in the food, but what to treat some disease. I know that personally when I was child and I had malaria. I was my parents combined Western medicine with African plants like um, leaves of quinine. I think that is what you call the bitter leaves.
Okay.
So they I drank infusions of bitter leaves or leaves of quinine, and this help to treat the malaria, and that is what we use in Republic of Benin and in Republic of Senegal, because I grew in two in these two countries. In Republic of Senegal, we use the leaves of kenkeliba,
Mm.
kenkeliba, and we use also to recover very quickly the health. We use the dry flowers of hibiscus. We call it in French bissap.
Mm. Okay.
And
Yeah.
for the affection for respiration, we use ginger with a piece of sugar and garlic, or just they peel the one piece of fresh ginger, and we just eat it with sugar or honey. And after that, it's for affection for cold. We don't need to. They don't give us Western medicines. Just
Hmm.
garlic with ginger, fresh ginger, and that's all with sugar. Yes. I
Great.
don't know
Awesome.
if you want me to repeat in to repeat
French.
in French.
Okay, I'll ask you.
If
I'll
yeah.
ask you to speak French soon. I'll ask you to speak French soon. But I want you to tell us, in your case specifically, how have you moved? Because both of you have told us how we've used this stuff naturally in their raw state from our backyards. How has your company moved this from a backyard thing to a company? You mentioned ginger, so tell us about how your company processes ginger from Benin, from Senegal, and takes it to France.
How we process fresh ginger to the final product, you want to say?
To the final product, exactly. How do you now make it globally acceptable? What have you done in packaging it and
Oh
all that?
yes, yes. We process. We select the the ginger with the farmers. We check the farmers which who don't use pesticide, who has the who have the certification, bio certification, and we buy the fresh ginger from these farmers. And about the sugar, because in my product we have two main ingredients: fresh ginger, 60% of fresh ginger and 40% of brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, we what is very important for us and to respect the European standards, because my products come until Europe. So we have to guarantee the high quality. So for that,
Mm-hmm.
it's very important to have the best raw material. And during the process, we respect all um, all rules
Relations.
to to avoid infection and so on. Yes, it's very we they put it's now gloves and so on. We pay attention to all these things, this point, because before product will leave Africa, we they we they the authority ask us sample to analyze and check if everything is okay to before we'll bring them to Europe. I don't know
Thank
if
you very
I
much.
understand to your question.
Great, that's awesome. Awesome, Jeanette. So I'll come back to you in a minute and I'll ask you to tell us that in French. So just get yourself together. I will hear your thoughts on those two questions in French. Let me go back to Uchechi. I'd like to hear your side of the story. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Uchechi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. So
Okay,
we'd like
I can just hear you now.
Awesome. So we'd like to hear your thoughts on first of all what you do with the raw materials and the aspect of quality. I want you to share with us the demand for quality in the global space, how you are meeting that challenge both in packaging and processing, and then what challenges you're facing as an entrepreneur in this space.
Okay, I'm sure I heard you correctly.
Yes.
Um, I my name is Ginette Agbo. I'm not sure I introduced myself earlier because of the network. So I'm the founder of Devon Dates Food. Basically, we produce date syrup from date fruit, and it's 100%. So my journey started when I visited the hospital, and my doctor directly said it to my face that I have to remove honey from my food. And yes, I understood the part of sugar, but when he said honey, and I was a bit skeptical, and I argued it. I said, "Why should I remove honey from my food? Honey is natural." And he said, "No, whatever sugar does in the system, your body, honey does that the same, but then at the long run." Okay, so I ventured into how to sweeten my food because naturally I'm sweet. I love food, good food, and food that tastes good and all that. So I basically use dates for my juice, so many things and all that. So I know how to process the syrup. And I started. So someone came to the supermarket where I wanted to buy during the COVID. During COVID, everybody were just going to the supermarket, packing up things, storing up houses and all that. And I was basically looking for date syrup. It was new and strange to people. Nobody knew what date syrup was. And my neighbor was with me and he caught my attention and he was like, "Look, they're calling about this syrup." And the woman got to me and said, I said yes. And she immediately booked me and said I should, you know, sell to her. But then I haven't even started selling. So that was how I ventured into the business. And everybody in my neighborhood said it's packaging. So I noticed that, when you present something neatly and more quality, people like it. Everybody likes quality and good things. So I painstakingly went through this packaging and doing it well. So I got into the market nearby and I started searching. I first of all designed the bottle, how it's going to be packaged. I wanted it in this kind of shape and all that. And today it is what it is. You can find it in the stores and everybody when they get there, are you sure this is your product? Are you sure this is done here? Are you sure it's not from the US? That kind of thing. So
Yeah, they should have come
I know
back.
that. I don't know if I got your question, the other question correctly.
Yes, I think you've touched on
Can
it
you hear me?
around. Yes, I can hear you. I think you touched on it around the processing, the processing aspect, and that is solid. Sorry, view for there's a slight break in the voice because of I think because of the network. Let me get back to Abigail on this question of quality and the demands. Jeanette had mentioned that there was this regulation around around the quality in Europe and even before you export it. So what does it look like in Nigeria? What does it look like with NAFDAC? You want to make sure your food product goes through that process. How does it work? Just tell us.
Yeah, of course. In Nigeria, NAFDAC is the body that is responsible for quality and ensuring that it's whatever you are doing is up to global standards. So, of course, you have to go through all that. They will have to come to your processing place, maybe your industry, or where you are doing your processing business, and then it's usually it takes time and it's expensive. So but that is basically it. NAFDAC will ensure that you're following the guidelines. They will ensure that you've got the right environment. They will ensure that everything that you're doing is up to standard. Okay, so it's usually not very easy for entrepreneurs, especially those that are starting small. It's not easy. So a lot of times what happens is people try to, start up, and then they grow. As they grow, after a while, when they've, made the money and all, they can then into go to NAFDAC to get the permits and all the requirements, so it will be eligible for to be taken abroad and out of the country. So that's basically it. It's like a bottleneck. Some start the process, but along the line, because the bottlenecks and all the bureaucracy, it's usually very long and demanding in terms of finance. They sometimes back out and then wait until they are able to gather the financial muscle, and then they go for it. But NAFDAC is in charge. And of course, there's also the part of you having to register your company. Okay, that's where CAC comes in. Company, the Corporate Affairs Commission will, they are the body that is in charge to ensure that your business is registered. Okay, and then you are able to carry on business in Nigeria. So these two bodies are very important in doing business in Nigeria. You have to be registered as a business owner, whether it's a business name you're trying to register, or you're trying to incorporate a company limited by shares. Okay, this CAC is in charge of that. Why NAFDAC will ensure that, okay, what you're doing is healthy for the public, and it also goes with the global standard. So that's.
Thank you very much, Abigail. Thank you. That was insightful. So I'm going to come back to Ginette. I'm now going to allow Ginette to speak French. So I'm going to ask you a question and allow you to respond to us in your full French. I want to ask about how you get people aware of your product. Now, in Europe, probably they are not familiar with ginger and all its properties. In some parts of Africa, somebody like Uchechi is selling Debron dates. So for some people, dates is foreign. So what are your ideas and your practices around getting people to understand the value of the product before they even buy it? Please share that with us. French is allowed.
I just want to precise something in English before I will switch with French. In Europe, and in particularly in France, they consume lot of ginger, but not like what I'm offering them. But they because we have a population from Asia very important in Europe and in France, so they know ginger, but not the process I am offering to them is my added value.
Okay, great.
Yes. Comment assurer aux consommateurs français ou européens la qualité des produits que je leur propose? Il y a plusieurs focus, plusieurs points. D'une part, c'est leur garantir la traçabilité des matières premières qui sont utilisées. D'autre part, les conditions dans lesquelles nous transformons ces, ces produits sur le continent africain et comment les conditions dans lesquelles nous les packageons pour les envoyer vers la France. Ça, c'est déjà 2 points. Et ensuite, lorsque les produits sont acheminés en France, ils sont directement transférés vers une association qui travaille avec des personnes en situation de handicap. Ce centre s'appelle, il y a des centres un peu partout sur le territoire français, on les appelle les ESAT. Donc, pour des raisons pratiques, j'ai choisi un ESAT pas très loin de chez moi, vers lequel les produits sont transférés. Et cette matière première, ce produit en vrac qui vient en France, est conditionné dans des pots en verre, étiqueté en France. Et pour le moment, le commerce se fait en ligne. Donc, dès qu'il y a des commandes, cette association les met en boîte dans des cartons pour pouvoir les envoyer vers les clients. C'est ce que je peux dire sur les produits. Et autre chose, pour assurer la clientèle, parce que nous sommes juste une petite entreprise, donc pour briser les tabous de méfiance par rapport aux produits qui viennent de l'Afrique, nous avons plutôt décidé de raconter toute une histoire autour de nos produits. Et l'histoire, ça commence donc depuis notre culture africaine. Leur faire comprendre que ce qu'ils ont en face aujourd'hui, c'est un héritage culturel de l'Afrique. Donc ça, c'est déjà important. On leur offre une partie de notre héritage culturel. Sauf que cet héritage culturel, nous avons passé des années à travailler dessus pour l'adapter au goût moderne, tout en respectant tous les standards de normes européennes. Et toute cette histoire-là, c'est ça qui donne envie d'acheter le produit. Et la clientèle que nous voulons toucher n'est pas uniquement africaine, n'est pas uniquement la clientèle africaine de la diaspora. Nous voulons surtout toucher tous les Occidentaux, peu importe leur origine, vraiment des clients cosmopolites. Et pour cela, il faut, et ça c'est le challenge de ma marque, pouvoir adapter notre produit de base, aussi bien au niveau de la saveur que du packaging, à cette clientèle. Donc, nous sommes partis de recettes très basiques, qui à la base est très fort en goût, très très piquant, et nous avons travaillé pour pouvoir atténuer un peu cette partie très piquante. Nous avons tenu compte effectivement de leur saveur, de ce qu'ils ont l'habitude de consommer, et nous avons également proposé un packaging qui donne envie d'acheter, parce que on voudrait au fait élever le niveau, c'est-à-dire même si nos produits sont made in Africa, ils peuvent être intégrés dans la gastronomie internationale du monde. Et qui dit gastronomie dit tout l'art autour de la cuisine, c'est-à-dire on raconte des histoires, on ne mange plus par nécessité, mais on mange vraiment par plaisir, on déguste et on s'intéresse à toute l'histoire autour du produit, comme quand on déguste un bon vin ou ou un bon foie gras. C'est la vision de Mia Gourmet pour pouvoir attirer les consommateurs.
Thank you so much, Mercy. So before I let you go, in English this time around, Tell us how what you're doing is impacting the farmers in Benin, Senegal, and so forth. Just in English, very briefly.
What I'm doing to impact?
How your work, your company is having an impact on the farmers in West Africa on getting their goods to Europe.
Okay, my
You understand?
impact,
Yeah.
my the impact of the brand is to encourage the farmers to not use pesticide, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't use product with pesticide to transform in the process of transformation. So
Yeah.
there is a I don't know if I can say education. We communicate with them, so we try to explain for them that if we want visibility outside abroad, there is very important to not use pesticide in the in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
Is not honestly is not easy, because having bio certification is very expensive. Honestly, for the moment, we don't have a lot of farmers who can who can um, who can
Organic farming. Who can do
organic,
organic
yes,
farming?
organic farmers. We don't have a lot, but we encourage them, and the purpose is to highlight what we start now in Europe, and maybe at internationally, maybe in America. If we 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 show people, we do a good promotion that where our products are very good for everybody, children, adults, and seniors, we can have important orders. So if we have important orders, it helps farmers, it will encourage them, because they have a guarantee, the guarantee that people can buy their product, the raw materials.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Awesome. So if we create a market, we create work for our local farmers, and we can push them to be more organic, more natural in their growth. I'm going to come back to Uchechi to tell us how she is making Nigerians buy dates, because dates is a Middle Eastern construct, if I'm not mistaken. So how are we educating people to do that? But before I do that, let me ask Nana Sewa. Now she lives in Germany. What is the perception of products coming from Africa in your environment?
Okay, so basically, the perception, I wouldn't say there is perception, because we're talking about ginger here, we're talking about lemon here, we're talking about basically natural products, and they have, the Europeans have refined them. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, we have the hibiscus, which Nigerians call zobo, Ghanaians
Mm-hmm.
call sobolo, and
Mm-hmm.
we have it in shops here as tea, hibiscus tea, which is mixed with various kinds of herbs. So they equally have those herbs in tea form. However, it's more packaged and what I call it defined. I mean, it's more presentable. But with ginger, ginger is a common herb which cuts across every continent, be it Africa, Europe, and in this time of coronavirus, you realize that ginger has become quite costly here in
Mm-hmm.
Europe. Very, very costly, because everybody knows that ginger helps in boosting immune system, be it ginger with lemon, be it ginger with honey. They have other herbs they call the fennel. I don't know if you know about it, the fennel plant, which is also very good herbal plant. And the perception about herbs, which we think is just an African thing, they all equally have their own kind of herbs, but the common ones like the ginger, the lemons, and lime there on the market, which is easily accessible. Now, like one of our panelists said, ginger lemon honey cures a lot of cough. Around this time, which is the springtime, we could there is what we call the allergies, where coughs and all sort of allergies. But ginger, honey, and lemon does a lot of tricks. Personal experience with my own daughter, the last few weeks has been crazy because of the change in weather. 1 minute is cold, the other next minute is hot. So there's a lot of cough. Coronavirus, there is no coronavirus because test is negative. However, you could realize that is a normal cold. And ginger, lemon, and honey with what we call in Ghana cloves. I don't know if you know what is cloves. Cloves is also very is a very vital and very effective herb. When I added to this mixture and she took in the last 3 days, her cold is down. So basically, we don't have the, I think a part of the world think they have perception about herbs, but like Anyedike said, the packaging, it's all about marketing. We need to package things well. You can't just be putting things out there. Sometimes it's very scary and people really don't want to patronize it. But when it's packaged, when ginger has been packaged in a tea, when I put ginger tea, hibiscus tea, and all, they have the green tea and all that, which I could pull from my cabinet and show it to you. They are pure herbs, no mixture. They are bio. And like Janetti said, because of FDAs here, when it's bio, it has to be bio. When it's not bio, it has to be, you have to know. You have to be as realistic as you can be because you might have problems with the, what do you call it, with the authorities. So bio is bio. If it's not bio, then you know it's GIMO. So it's
Mhm.
up to you to decide what I'm spending my money on and what I'm not spending my money on. So basically, for me living around them, and living with them, I realized that they equally use herbs a lot. And 2 days ago, one friend of mine who is so white, so European, when I told her my daughter is having a cough, it was like, there is this plant, eucalyptus plant. I should just put it
Eucalyptus.
in water. Yes, I should just put it in water and
Eucalyptus.
bathe my daughter with it, and it would be okay because when she was growing up, she used it as a child, and it helped with all these things. So basically, I think they use herbs a lot, but because they present it in a very refined and more presentable way, we in our minds they don't use herbs, but they use herbs a lot. They use
Okay.
herbs a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Nana Sewa. You know, it just reminded me of something my pastor said once about eating with our hands. He said every civilization in this world, they pass through the phase where they ate with their hands. So eating with your hands is not actually African. It's just primitive. That's another conversation for another day. All right, let me go to Uchechi and ask her about how Nigerians are embracing date syrup and what you're doing to share the understanding of what the value of dates. Uchechi, you can unmute yourself, please. Okay, I think we lost our signal again. All right, let me come back to. Are
Okay,
you back?
can you hear
Go ahead.
me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
So sorry, network has been amazing.
Yep.
I'm just, I'm just hearing the question. I can't remember the first question you asked me what it was. So I'm wondering whether I answered correctly. Okay, so selling these products to Nigerians has been amazing. I think I'm so excited because I started this business in 2020. The product is a North African, Middle East kind of products. You know, date is grown over there, especially in North Africa and Middle East. And currently, I stay on the southern side of Nigeria, so they're not used to it. They're not used to it. So now I'm presenting, telling them about it. Nigerians are being
Okay, sorry about that.
to
I
invade
think
Nigeria. First of all, like I said earlier on,
yeah, okay. We'll have to come back to Uchechi
can you hear
in the
me? Is
next
my
one.
network still breaking?
It is breaking a lot. It is breaking a lot. So let's come back to you after a few minutes. Let me go to Abigail. I'll come back to you after a few minutes and we'll try again. Okay, so Abigail, I want to know how you are doing your education around organic, because from there's a passion with you on feeding children properly, right? There's a passion around that that we hear in your voice. So how is it going with the education? How are you doing your campaigns? How are you educating them on these products and on embracing organic for children? There's a question for Ginette, which I will display, but I'll come back to that once I listen to you. Abigail, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Ken. I've been in the, I've been trying to talk to mothers. There's something about women. Us being that the role of taking care of the kids, especially babies, fall on the laps of the women and mothers. So I've been trying as much as I can, and it's an ongoing thing. Organizing seminars for new moms, expecting moms, would be moms, and it's been very encouraging because a lot of them don't know. And when you when they stumble on things like this, they are so wowed and like, oh, I never knew, and this is commonplace, but yet, so that's what I've been doing, organizing seminars and talking to everyone I meet. Like you said, it's there. Once I start, it just, the fire starts. So organizing seminars for moms, it's very important, and the response has been good. The response has been good, and like everything about change is not easy, but it's step by step. For me, as a mom, it wasn't easy. It wasn't something I learned and I just jumped into it. It was a gradual process, because you would think of, oh, how will I keep it? Because if you have a tin of processed food, baby food, it's just boil water, put the thing in, and bam, you're done. But with the natural, you have to cook, you have to make it in a way that kids or babies will be able to eat it. So all that is long. But once you start, it gets easier. So I've been doing a sensitization for new moms and helping them to see the good in natural. And it's so amazing. When I entered into this and doing research, I also find out that even the UN is for this, in telling moms, introduce natural to your kids. It's there online. You go online, you see the UN, if they are into it, so it's interesting and very fulfilling to see that moms are beginning to buy into it. Thank you.
Thank you, Abigail. So there's education, and we've heard about packaging. It's acceptable, and I think you touched on the packaging as well in terms of the convenience, because the chemicals are more convenient to use than the organics. So we have to make the organics more convenient to use. Let me come back to Ginette. Ginette, there's a question here for you. Okay, Nana Sewa, you want to add something to what Abigail has said? Please go ahead. Before I come to Ginette, go ahead, please.
So like Abigail said, with natural foods with mothers, I think a personal experience with being a mom, first time mom. I remember when I was the first time mom and my child got sick. Basically, I thought it was sickness, but it was a child growing up normally. I didn't understand. Here where I live, pediatricians don't give medicines to children just like that. Would you believe I went to the hospital telling the doctor my child is not eating, my child is doing this, my child, it was like, just make sure she's drinking a lot of water. And within 2 weeks, I realized my child was okay. So basically, what she's talking about, natural things, natural products for children, is very healthy. Sometimes the body wants to heal itself. And basically, when you go for medicines, it's rather weakens their immune system because children are now growing their immunity. And chemicals would only weaken the immunity. So when you go natural, naturally they grow natural. So you realize that when we were growing in Africa, we weren't having a lot of problems with health issues. But currently, you realize that there are a lot of health issues because people have tend to doing more of the civilized way of living than the traditional way of living. People are eating a lot outside, which we don't even know the content of the food. People are eating a lot of boxed food, which probably might have expired. People and has a lot of additives and all that. However, if your children are eating fresh and healthy meal, sometimes personally my children will go like they don't want rice, they don't want anything, they just want vegetables and fruits, and it's equally healthy. I pack it for them and make sure they are very full. And the next thing is I make sure I top up with something that would give them a balanced nutrient. It's not about the quantity of what you eat, it's about the quality of what you did. And currently in the world, we are lacking a lot of those things. So if you realize we have a lot of deficiencies, a lot of health issues currently in Africa, which we didn't have before. But because we importing a lot of in my language we say yes, we've learned more than even the learners. So we begin to do things way above what is supposed to do. Probably if you're supposed to take 100 milligram of vitamin D, we are taking 1,000 milligram, that kind of thing. So basically the body itself will be rejecting a lot of things that is supposed to need. The body needs something balanced, not too much, not too less. And in our part of environment too, we feel like if you eat and you're satisfied, whether it's rice or carbohydrate is good. But we end up eating a lot more carbohydrate than having a bit of protein, a bit of carbohydrate, and a bit of all the nutrients in our food. So in as much as we have all the resources to have our basic natural foods, we abuse them because we don't know the quantity to eat or even the quantity to give the children. And we have learned more than the learners. So we are even giving the children the things they don't need. Children don't need chemical medicine unless it's prescribed by doctors. But you can't just go over the counter and be buying medicine saying that my child is sick and I feel they need Panadol or something. Children don't need that. Even as adults, our system itself works itself out. A bit of water, good sleep, good nutrients, and we are good to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nana Savannah. Thank you. Thank you so much. So let me come over to Ginette. There's a question here around farming. The question is from Oge. Oge is asking, so what can people use in place of pesticides? So how you spoke about the farmers in Benin, Senegal, you're encouraging them not to use chemicals to farm. So how do they farm? Let me just put it that way. How do they farm without pesticides?
Yes, that's a good question. I don't know all raw materials, but about ginger, I can tell you what ginger needs. Ginger needs a good soil, and which will be very well irrigate
Irrigation.
by, yes, by water is all we need for ginger. This is a very profitable agriculture. The ginger doesn't need just need a soil and water.
Okay. Wow.
we don't need. So before, so what's the obligation? The soil shouldn't be used before during uh, 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
This we I don't know how to explain. This is to grow ginger, which could be which could have a certification. So
So
they
that means
have,
it has to lie fallow for some time. The soil has to lie fallow for maybe five. You said 5 years, right? Before you plant.
yes, 5 to 10 years. We can be sure that this soil will be good for to grow bio ginger, organic
Mhm.
ginger. Yes,
Okay.
and have
Awesome.
so we have to check also the source of the water.
Okay.
Around the water, we have to avoid to have a chemical factory who which can have impact of this water.
Okay, that's well understood. So, in essence, there are techniques for organic farming which do not involve chemicals or synthetic chemicals, chemicals made by unnatural means, and that is very clear. Thank you very much. So let's come back to Uchechi. I don't know whether you can hear us now. You can speak now about how you are getting Nigerians, southern Nigerians, to use dates instead of sugar and honey. Are you able to speak now? You're still muted. I don't know whether you're here. Okay. All right. Our time is almost up, and I would like to ask. We now need to like just very briefly tell us your views about GMO products compared to organic product. I know some of us have touched on it. Genetically modified foods, genetically modified organisms becoming prevalent. I mean, you probably will get. I mean, Jeanette just said that we need to wait 5 years to grow ginger, but maybe somebody puts something in it, and every year you're having massive amounts of ginger in large quantities, and everybody's so how do we navigate that? I want your thoughts. I mean, how dangerous is it, or how non-dangerous? Why should we? What is it? So let's start from Uche. Are you able to speak before I go ahead on this point? I can see, but I don't know whether you are is frozen again. Okay, you're not able to hear me. Sorry about that. All right. So Abigail, let's hear your thoughts. Let's hear your thoughts on that very quickly. Very quickly. 30 seconds. We're out of time. GMO. What do you think?
Okay, I'd like to ask a question. Can you play God, really? I mean, if us as human beings, our genes are modified, come on, do you think that you would be able to function on the long run? I think it's a no if we want to be true about ourselves. I said earlier that Africa, we are virgin, the virgin of the world right about now. And we shouldn't allow the things that the West and those other countries, we shouldn't allow them to brainwash us. We've got it. We've got what God has given to us. GMO, you modify a gene that has been put in by nature, by God. When I mean nature, I mean God. I have to call it. You modify it. How do you think that those products will come out again, be it animals, be it plants, and be again how they are naturally meant to be, how they are naturally meant to function, the things they are meant to give to you on the long run? I don't think that going on the path of GMO is good for us. We need to
All right.
wake up.
Thank
Don't
you very
allow
much.
ourselves to be brainwashed.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Abigail. Thank you so much. GMO. What do you think, Jeanette? What do you think? Your thoughts?
Um, I can understand farmers who are tempted to use it because they have a financial problem, and these people, these big companies who sell these products, chemical products, guarantee to these farmers that you can have a lot of beautiful fruit products, and you can sell a lot, but they avoid to tell them that the more you will use this product, the more your soil will become poor, will
Mm,
become poor. And I can understand they don't have education. Our farmers, we have to notice that they don't have a lot of education. So I think that is our politicals who have to to give a direction, and oblige this, and organize the system. Is we cannot just our effort will not be will not be sufficient to help these farmers to not use this product, because what alternative we give to them, because they
mm,
have difficulties. And as I told, we don't form organic ginger, we don't need pesticide, but we cannot have the same quantity of ginger. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
exactly.
ginger is smaller, we don't have a lot of ginger. So that's the question. I think that we will do our best to help the farmers, but um, we have to we have to sensibilize our politicians to organize the system.
Okay, thank
And
you very much, Ginette.
farmers, because the farmers in Europe, they are in association, they have organization, so we can they have one voice, and in Africa we have only organization for the main product like cotton, you know um, the main product we our state export abroad, not for the spices, because they don't think that is very important. And one thing I would like to add, to help our farmers, I try here to showcase that the spices I'm selling is not only for people who will cook, because here people don't have lots of time. So I
Mhm,
have the products, I have two products in jars, and these products I showcase that you can use it at any time of the day. You can use it in your breakfast, in your tea or chocolate milk. You can use it in on your ice cream. You can use it just like a chew as candy. You can use it like infusion. You can use it in a cake to bake, and
mhm.
it's a new vision of spices I'm trying to give here. Do you understand? Not only to
Okay,
cook.
okay, not yeah. I get that. I get that part, and I think that is part of the education of the public on what is possible with these organic foods, and that is so powerful.
So
That's so
we can
powerful.
help, if we do that, we can help at back office our farmers, because people will very insight to buy our products with good packaging, good communication, good marketing, as Nana said, and there's no problem. The challenge is to find the market, to communicate very well. We have a lot of skilled, good entrepreneurs, but they don't know how to be be visible, to how to be showed
Mhm.
in the world market, and this is
Oh,
one of the main challenge.
okay. All right. So thank you so much, Jeanette. Much appreciated. Nana Sewa, as a consumer, GMO in 30 seconds. GMO, what do you think?
Okay, so basically, we are in a world where we are not too sure whether it's GMO or bio. Somebody will say
Yeah.
it's bio, but it's definitely GMO. But coming
Yeah.
from a very traditional setting, or an African traditional background, the power of charcoal. For me, when I'm not too sure whether it's GMO or bio, simply soak the fruit in charcoal for some period of time. We know the effectiveness of charcoal, the power of charcoal. It could drain out poisonous substances from food. So basically, for
Interesting.
me, I'm not a GMO person. However, I can never be too sure what I'm consuming and what I'm not consuming. And I'm very, what do you call it? My concerns with health issues is like top. So
Mhm.
the power of charcoal is my trick. You can try it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
The
So
dates
we have
are
to close
very
out.
good also. The dates
The
Yes,
date.
are
they are
very
very,
good.
very healthy. Yeah, very, very
Yes,
healthy.
Awesome.
to eliminate the toxin of the body. If you are not
Exactly.
sure to eat something organic or not, you can eat dates.
Exactly, exactly.
All right.
And like
Awesome.
Jeanette said, because we consume things raw or cooked, gingers, for instance, can be eaten raw. You can never be too sure what you're consuming. So the best thing is always be very secured and know what you're eating. Since you don't know what you're eating, you can use the traditional way of eliminating toxic substances from your vegetables.
All right, thank you. So we have to close out now. We've gone past our time, and I'll do one more round. Just tell us in one sentence how we can reach you, Abigail. How can we reach you?
Okay, you can reach me on Blossom Island Facebook. That's my page, Blossom Island. With
Great.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Abigail. How can we reach you? Uchechi, can you speak? How can we reach you? How can we reach you? Uh, I'm so sorry. Iche has had a lot of network issues. So we will post that in the chat. So how can we reach you, Jeanette?
You can reach me on Facebook and Instagram, Ginette African Ecopreneur. Ginette,
Jeanette
like my
African.
name, African
African.
Ecopreneur.
Wow. Thank you very much, Jeanette. Thank you so much.
And you have
All right.
my website, miagourmet.com.
All right. Awesome. I'll drop that in the chat shortly. So
Thank
amazing
you.
conversation. I missed it all. We have to close out now. And do share, do subscribe, and we'll have another go at it next time. Uche is
Thank
finally
you.
back. All right. We'll have it another time. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
week. Yeah. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.